Greetings and welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. Just a little update here. I have been fighting with the internet on and off all day, and I was debating about moving or not to a better spot, so it looks like the tower is under stress. That gives us super high-speed internet where I'm at. But then it occurred to me that the Ironman qualification tournament is going on this weekend in State College. And so, A, pray for me. We'll have about 30,000 bikers all over the county. But B, I imagine with that many people and more coming in and probably wanting to get here early, I don't imagine the internet's going to be better anywhere else. So if we happen to start buffering, if you guys could let people know who jump on later, who are here now, that the buffering has struck, and it's probably just my internet. So there's not much I can do about it, unfortunately. And so I decided, it's going to be worse tomorrow night. So we're just going to go ahead today. And I have been pretty consistent for a half hour now without any dipping. But if it dips, what I'm going to do is particularly if it dips during the news portions, I'm just going to keep going. I'm not even going to stop because I record them. And I'll just go ahead and get them updated or uploaded. And then as soon as we get internet back, I'll come back on. And maybe that's how we do the show tonight. But you'll have to have a little bit of patience as the internet is happening. Further updates. This begins the week where I'll take some time off. So next week, Thursday is the 4th of July, so there's not going to be a Thursday show, but we are going to move that Thursday show to a Wednesday. So we'll do a live show on Wednesday. We may or may not have a video on Thursday at all. I might just take the whole day off, but we'll do our live show, our supporter stream on Wednesday that week. That's next week. Weekly News Roundup will be regular. The following week, I am at camp. There will be very minimal videos, if any. There will be no Thursday show. There will be no Weekly News Roundup. And in past, if I have time, I might compile a pre-recorded and premiere a Weekly News Roundup. However, I am teaching at camp this year, and I may not have the time to do that. It really depends on, do I get all my workflow figured out, and do I have to resolve anything or prep anything else? And I usually, however, at camp take on the role of doing the technology background and doing the slideshows. So I might be too busy for that. So don't plan on anything that week. The following week, I'll be at a writers conference. Fortunately, I'm not teaching there this year. I'm just participating, but I'm going to go lighter that week, probably half the amount of videos. Weekly News Roundup will probably still happen. Thursday night show, probably not. But again, I don't know. So just be aware there's going to be a couple, the next few weeks is going to be a little bit wonky. And then the week after that, since in the middle of all of that preparation, I also had to upgrade a live production CentOS server into Alma Linux and patch a number of different websites. And so my brain is turned into mush. I kind of resembled a person on that one part of the stage last night that looked like this most of the time. And so because of that, I might take an extra week off after all that nonsense. I don't know yet. But I got some green screen bleeding through. Hopefully I got it all figured out, but I don't know. Let's see. Do I have green screen bleeding through? Let's see. Got some green screen bleeding through lower left. Is it this way? This way. I think you might be seeing my bottom part of my microphone. I'll try and readjust that. Is that it? I don't know. If not, I did have to adjust the cameras a little bit. I'm gonna squint. What? I killed Medicare, man, huh? Let's see. Anyway, something for the coffee or tea fund. Commodore fan with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I will drink some coffee to your super chat, and I will certainly buy some coffee. In fact, $5 is actually what it cost me for about a month's supply of coffee at Aldi's. So thank you. I'll be picking up some more coffee soon. Down by Tux's belly, huh? A little bit of green screen bleeding through. That's this direction. Does that help? That's going to be annoying though. Anyway, yeah, I think we'll have to deal with it. I moved that around a little bit. Hopefully that worked. I guess there's one more thing I could do here. I could actually, sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. Let me go ahead and do it because I still feel like I'm a little dark anyway, so. Bleed as front tux, got it. All right, let me switch that on, and let me switch the other one on, and I'll be right back. Hold on. I got it, it takes back here. Can't reach. There it is. Okay. There we go. That should illuminate the green screen a little bit better. Woo! All right, is that better? Hey, lighting actually looks better on my monitor screen anyway. Not that I can see it super well on the monitoring screen, but let me know how that looks. That might be a little bit better. All right, let's check in on our super chats. Anchorage is in. Good evening, Anchorage. Anchorage with the banhammer. All right. Night of Light, greetings to you. Lizard of a Linux Lane. I, for one, welcome our artificial intelligence penguin overlord. Yep. I like the stream. Why, thank you, everyone. I want to like the stream. Leave us a subscribe. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like. All that fun, jazzy stuff. I cannot find the live stream for yesterday's stream, which I missed. I will send it to you, Night of Light. What I wanted to do is I wanted to edit it, and it took all day to get it to show up. And so, and then when I wanted to download it, it was going to take several hours. So I will get it back up eventually. I wanted to do some editing of it. There were a few places we got rambling into the weeds, and I want to cut some of the rambling out. Of course, I did not take it off of the other platforms, so you can check it out on Rumble or Odyssey or BitChute. It should be on all those places, but I had 2 laptops, desktop 5 streams going on, 2 TVs running, and no issues. Yep. Well, try having 30,000 people descend on your city for Iron Man. It's kind of like the same thing that happens when like I think 20,000 people descended on that county that has a total population of 2,000 to watch the eclipse. Yeah, that caused the internet to go crashing and burning. So someone says they are seeing 2 suns in the sky in Canada. Maybe it's Planet X. Oh, there is a astrological event going on that we didn't know exactly when it is. That might be it. I believe it is the explosion of a supernova. And we didn't know exactly when it is, but it's sometime this summer. It could be as early as now. It could be a little bit later, but it's a supernova exploding, which is a giant ball. I actually saw one. It was Halloween back in the 90s. One of them, a star just blew up. I'm like, wow, that's neat. Didn't think about it at all. And I learned it was a supernova that exploded when I was working in the planetarium. Let's see. So still can't believe that's my 13th live. Wait, my 13th live today. Wait, your 13th live today? Oh, you watched 13 live shows today? Wow. Once again, thank you for the super chat, Commodore fan. I will buy some coffee with that. Going to get to the busy season. Hard to catch these lives till the sun starts getting early again. All right, man. Well, we always get the replays. I'm not counting. It's your head and hat that's green. Uh-oh. I'm not worried about it right now. Tiv, I got it fixed out by now. The logo on your hat is glitching out. Really? The logo on my hat? Oh, it is glitching out a little bit, isn't it? Hold on. I think I have a fix for that. Let me try this. That might make it worse, and that might make it better. Oh, that makes it worse. That makes it better. All right, let's try that. Let's do that. How's that? That might, Okay, well, I think my logo is going to glitch out. I think we're going to not deal with it. We're going to worry about it. Giant balls of gas. All right. And this is the 7th you've modded. Ooh, yeah, we have another bandhammer in the room. Better watch out. Razzy's Realms got a bandhammer going. We got 33 on Zatubies. Okay, there you go. Is my YouTubies buffering at all? No, everything looks good on my end. 13 on Odyssey. We got the Anchorage over there. We got No Jabbies Ever. Greetings. We got News Folder 19. Hello. $2 rummage sale. Basketball. Spent 30 minutes chasing all my missed shots. There you go. Rumble dropped worldwide to the debate last night. I actually did not. My Rumble instance did not drop. So whatever server I was on, never dropped. I did actually lose YouTube last night, though, for a brief moment. Because I was watching Crowder for like the first, I'd say, half hour, and then they just got stupid drunk, and the whole thing was just like, wiener jokes all over. It's like, okay, I tuned in to watch the debate with a few fact checks here and there. I did not come in to watch a bunch of drunken idiots on a couch. Okay, I actually wanted to tune in and see what the actual candidates were saying. And it was really good. I'd say the first 20, 30 minutes at Crowder was really good, and that you could hear what people are saying. They chimed in with an occasional fact check, threw things on the screen, and it was great. And then they just got all drunk, and then it was just them laughing and giggling over it. And I was just like, all right, this is turning that nonsense off. I just went over and supported the Communist News Network with a view to watch the actual debate, because I actually wanted to hear what the people on stage were saying. That's what was most important. Yeah, Commodore Fan also turned it off. Yeah, I had to turn it off. It was just getting bad. Like I had them both running because I recorded CNN. I recorded the Raw debate, and I was kind of watching that, and I just kind of turned the other one's volume down, the other one's volume up, and occasionally toggled them. But yeah, it was sad. And that was actually the first time I've watched Crowder in a long time. I'm not a huge fan of Crowder. It's just like gross and crass. And for a person who's supposed to be a Christian, he is way too crass for that. I'm sorry. I would doubt his salvation a heartbeat if I were in the position to do one such things. Uncle Bonehead, you made it. Absolutely. We didn't even really start yet. Nope. We should probably start here in the next couple minutes. Hello, Andy Man from the Britain over the seas. Greetings there. Iron Man, Tony Stark is in town. Yeah, Tony Stark is in town, and he's got all of his bicycles with him. Yeah, I'll be spending my day in another city. I was going to meet my friend over at church at his parents' house while he's in town. I'm like, yeah, let's just stay in that town. Sounds good. And then I checked the Iron Man maps. They're not going near that town. Like, great. Let's stay in that town. Fresh Vintage is on. Debate was painful. If you guys haven't checked out Fresh Vintage's channel, go ahead and do that. If you are into cars, they do a lot of car shows and car repair things. And did you ever do post the video of doing the brakes or not? I never saw. Let's see. I was also watching a public domain movie. All right. Let's go ahead and get on into the news. And I think we got what to finish up. There you go. Okay, there we go. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the Linux edition. And we're going to chat a little bit about some of the upcoming things in Linux. A little bit less Ubuntu news this week than last week, although we have a little bit there. And as soon as I uncover the article, I'll remember what it is. But let's go ahead and get on into these guys here. And tracking down one of the changes in the Calamaris installer actually showed me the bug that I have oftentimes complained about. Where if you're trying to install Calamaris, sometimes fouls out and just doesn't let you proceed. And I found that if you wipe your drive and rerun the Calamaris installer, then you could actually install it that time. The problem has to do with a bug in the LVM, but nobody wants to fix the bug in the LVM, so it's still there after this update. This update did though change a few things, so the Calamaris installer is getting a little bit better. Of course, this is one of the more popular installers that is not tied to a particular distro. And so they released version 3.37. I think this is, I think they were off for a couple of months, and then this is them coming back. So they did not do a release notes of 3.36, and so they went ahead and did the 3.36 and 3.37 release notes. I think the biggest major change over here, they just enhanced the coding for C++20 to keep up to date with coding standards, and they did a list of extra features. Here's some of the things they fixed. So the FS tab module, there was a bug in the system where even if you didn't do encryption, it still created a directory for an encryption key, which it shouldn't do. So that has been fixed and rolled out. And so with that, they fixed that bug there. and they fixed a few of the things on layouts, partition module tweaks, and various Qt6 related fixes. And they also added this one, which I think is beautiful. Every installer should do this: preventing sleep and suspend during installation. Nothing is worse than, okay, this is taking a while, let me go get a coffee. You come back and the thing went to sleep and the whole installer crashed. So I'm very pleased to see that they did that. Now, as I was tracking down, because I didn't really understand what was going on in this first one, the encryption key, until I actually read the bug report over on GitHub. And looking through, there was a comment about, hey, should we remove the LVM support because there's a big bug and it fails more often than it doesn't if you select LVM? And I always choose LVM. And that's why my Calamaris installs always seem to fail. That's why. But no, they're like, oh, we don't want to take that out. That's a useful thing. Well, can we fix it? No. Okay then, Calamaris. So someone needs to get in there and fix that LVM module. So, but we do have an excellent update there on Calamaris installer. Arch has LVM support now. I thought this was funny because Calamaris does not want to fix the LVM module. Now Arch is adding LVM support inside of the Arch install script. If you are unaware of how the Arch install script works, tomorrow, if you're watching this live tonight, or yesterday, if you're watching this on the pre-released, we are doing an install of Arch using the Arch install script. We are not actually testing the LVM support, but I am showing you where it is and what happens. But we are going to walk through the terminal install of Arch utilizing the Arch installer script. Now, you do have to install this. However, I did find that my first run testing this, it upgraded to the Arch install 281 perfectly, but then I had to go back and reinstall the system again for the second half of my video because there was something messed up on the one side, and I was getting a Arch key error on installing the Arch install, so I had to actually go to install it twice. That caused me a little bit of concern. Just be aware of that. If you do not need the LVM support, I would probably not bother upgrading to the 281 unless they figure out what that issue was, because it was kind of like a key pair changed or something, and I was worried about the security of the system. So, but they did fix that, and overall the Arch install system does work really well. It is fairly easy to follow through. It's just command line based. And so I show you in the video how to do that. So you'll see that either tomorrow or yesterday, depending on when you're watching this particular video. And we have a estimated release date for Cosmic DE. So of course, System 76 was in a little bit of a minor spat with the folks over at GNOME, and they have decided that they want to do such a heavily modified, but then they were worried about extensions breaking and things like that. That's why Ubuntu had to hold back one of the GNOME versions in one of the point releases of Ubuntu. And so they said, screw it, we're busting out Rust, and we are building our own desktop environment. So Pop! OS will be the flagship for the Cosmic desktop environment once this is out. And what they have done on this post here is they have released the branding, and they're telling us that the alpha release date is going to be sometime in late July. So we are looking at only about a month before seeing an alpha release of Cosmic desktop environment. I am excited about that. I don't know if you guys are, but I don't know. I might have to bust out some Pop! OS to check out that guy in its live environment. Of course, they're building it in such a way it can be installed on other distributions as well. But you can see here they went with their overarching logo feature is their O is to resemble a monitor, and just indicating the visions enacted, users empowered is what they're shooting for. So you can see their branding across the various different colors and things like that. So that actually all looks really nice. So I'm pleased to see that. It is a slick logo and a slick way of writing it. So, and they did tell us here that in late July we'll be seeing that. Now, in the meantime, already running until July 9th, they actually are running some pretty good Freedom sales. Of course, this is one of the American companies that sells really high quality Linux computers, and you can have a look over there, and they do have some sales over there. Obviously, it's not a sponsor on my half. It's just I'm mentioning it because I think that they're a great company that we should probably support. And on to Ubuntu news. They have finally patched some of the NVIDIA issues with Wayland. And so 24.10, which is going to be the next point release of Ubuntu released in October, is going to make Wayland the default for NVIDIA users. The Ubuntu has been Wayland by default for a while, but there were some issues with NVIDIA. And they kind of just Wayland figured out just the last couple steps that needed for getting those NVIDIA to work. And it had to do with, I believe it was explicit sync. They got all that fixed, and now they are starting to roll this out. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Ubuntu release schedule, they have an LTS every 2 years in April. So the even years in April will be an LTS. But what they do with the point releases is they try and release major changes to the system, so they have at least a release cycle or two of testing before they go into an LTS. And that's why I think they were pretty close to having Wayland support for NVIDIA completely figured out, but there were still a few holes in it. And so they pushed that back, released the LTS without it. So now the very next point release is going to have that Wayland default for NVIDIA. And so you can go ahead and have a look at what that looks like if you're upgrading to that cycle there. So that was the biggest issue that has been solved. Of course, Gnome and Plasma are both working with this, which are kind of showing themselves out to be the biggest drivers of your desktops. In case you need to know that, this is the 555 driver series for NVIDIA that is working with Wayland. So if you can't run or not willing to run with those, you probably want to stick with X for the meantime if you're using NVIDIA. And on to our last one. Yes, one Linux distribution is starting to cram AI all over itself, and wouldn't you know it, it's the Chinese deepin. Okay. Oh, great. What could possibly go wrong? A Linux distribution with a crazy long end-user license agreement based out of China that's feeding AI. This is way better than Firefox cramming AI into it, which says, we're privacy focused. Choose which one of your digital spies you'd like to use. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit later, I think. I don't think I cut that article anyway. But Deepin Linux is adding integrated AI. They're actually adding in 3 separate places. The personal knowledge assistant, where you can ask it basic stuff and, leak all your stuff to the CCP or whatever else. Of course, I'm being a little facetious. The Deepin system assistant, which allows you to simply tell your system what you'd like to do, like change my desktop brightness to 70%. There you go. And pretty soon you'll be able to say things like, hey, Alexa, order unicorn meat, confirm. And then you'll get unicorn meat. Why not, right? And then the last one is a grand search, which will allow you to search through files. And to my reading of this, it sounded like they would actually search through the contents of files, maybe. So you could look for something based on an OCR text reading of individual files. I'm not 100% sure about that last one. Just reading through the article, that seemed to be it. Here's the information about the grand search. So among the new AI features, we have a grand search, which is a cheesy name for an AI-powered search menu on Deepin that can find emails, code, documents, and more from a simple search query. This brings together, Deepin has opened up the model access interfaces so users can integrate more with UOS AI with support for large models in the OpenAI interface format. Devs have managed to include new functionality such as automatic wallpaper switching, language setting adjustments, and screen mode configurations. So there's a number of things. What does it mean by searching documents? I don't completely know for sure. But this distribution has been one that I'm not a huge fan of because it had a huge end-user license agreement, and it really did have a couple of potential shady ties. However, that being said, it is still an open-source Linux operating system. You can still see the code, so I wouldn't be all that concerned about it. But yeah, needless to say, I'm not interested in running AI in my Linux desktop. If I wanted to run AI, I'd like switch to Windows or something, And then I'd get constantly annoyed. Hey, turn on AI. Hey, notice you're not using our AI features. Come on, man, use our AI features. No. All right, well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a locals page We are on switchedtolinux.locals.com. You can jump on over there. We have information on our Thursday shows and on our short story series, which is on break for the summer. But we will come back, and I'm already compiling some beautiful short stories, ideas, and we will be compiling all of last season's into a book that will be available to the public once that is done. But with that, if you want to help support the channel, switchedtolinux.locals.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Alrighty, let's jump on back over, have a look at a few comments. Let me drink a little bit of Wawa here. I saw a cat. Yes, there's a cat down here. There's cats all over the place. Alrighty. We got a $10 super chat from Fresh Vintage. Super YouTube won't let me buy creamer and sugar. What? I didn't want to let you buy creamer and sugar. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll add some cream and sugar to the video. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I think I can actually come over here and add a product, can't I? Let's see. Insert an ad, delay ads, integrate that, add that, share. Let's see, shopping. Tag a product. Let's see, we are allowed to tag a product if you want something, if we mention something. So cream and sugar. Let me see if I can find cream and sugar over here in the products. From QVC, from Target. So those are just pots. I actually want, okay, hold on. Let me just do coffee cream. Let me see what I can find here. You shouldn't put coffee sugar in your coffee anyway. Come on, man. There you go. Coffee Mate coffee creamer. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Unless I accidentally did. I don't know. I have a neat creators dashboard back here, man. I can do fun stuff. They gave me neat, dangerous things to play with. All right. But thank you for that. Let's see. Beavis, the CNN host, but it is Brandon. You suck. It's kind of what the debate sounded like last night. Check out Run Scale Script. It can enlarge Linux apps that are small and high resolution displays. Had a problem with this. All right. Didn't plan on watching it either, but saw the link on X. Figured why not? You know. Not yet. We'll post it soon. All right. Yeah. Let me know when you do. My elder mother, who moved in with me several years ago to get out of the bad part of town, said my setup looked insane. Sweet. The two sons, maybe Rob Braxman. What? Hello, StormOS. Greetings. Remember to smash that like button, folks. Finally works after 5 tries. Oh, boy. All right. Let's see. Time for class action lawsuit on OpenAI. See, that's one class action lawsuit I would be part of. I won't touch that crap. What are you talking about? Let's see. And wants an anti-AI search engine. Check out SeerX. Hasn't failed me yet. DuckDuckGo works well. DuckDuckGo is not owned by Bing Microsoft. It just uses to filter results. Yep. Got solid results from DuckDuckGo search engine inside Firefox. Miles Tails Prower. There you go. Way more private based on some search index. Let's see. Still don't use anything with AI. Yep. Several browsers are based on Firefox, but are not owned by Mozilla. Yep. Do you own SeerX? SeerX is actually a big open source project. If one is so inclined, you can actually host your own SeerX instance. I know I played around with one. I don't remember if I did a video on it, though. Maybe I did the video on it. I didn't keep it around because I couldn't easily integrate it into the browser. I don't know. But anyway. Ooh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe let's go ahead and we're going to add Fresh Vintage as a moderator. Can review and moderate chats, can manage blocked words and change. Let's just do regular. There you go. Fresh Vintage is now a band hammer as well. So got to be careful there. All right, what was this whole spat about with Miles here? All right, let me see. Time for class and open last. Anyone wants Sandy search engine that failed me? Pretty encrypted. Private cloud base. Still don't use anything down AI. Thanks on AI's. Wait, what? I think that was a legitimate question. Because Fresh Vintage has not heard of CRX. Yeah, I don't see anything Miles is saying incorrect there. Deep in Linux just got sketchier. Of course it did. Come on. All right. I was actually debating that because you can install Deepin with Arch install. I don't know. I might go back and try it sometime. I started vacation March 17th. Quit my truck driving job when the Koofy locked me at home. It's hammer time. Oh, never mind. Alrighty, let's go ahead and check out. We got 46 on Zatubies. If I can find my mouse cursor, there it is. All right, we got over on Odyssey. We got 20 over on Odyssey. Okay. Best news story of the week. Let's see. We like Tom's green aura. Yeah, apparently I've turned on a green aura. I think turning on the overhead lights gives me a green aura, but it makes me feel all fuzzy inside. Yeah, I had messed around with the camera settings. I was doing some photo shoot stuff, and I messed with some things, and I didn't get them all back. Johnny says flame on. Sorry, I haven't been around lately. Anyone think Biden looked like Crichton from Red Dwarf? I have no idea who Crichton was, but if Crichton looked like he's about to die, yes. Let's see. Rumble stream seemed okay. Didn't see much chat over there. No buffering here. All right. And let's check out Rumble 23 over there. Can't wait for Cosmic. Hope it puts Gnome to shame. Probably will. And default to Wayland on the after install. Live environment is still X. Circophian T simulator. Well, we will see that there is a simulator in our SillyVille tonight, so you'll have to stick around for SillyVille to see what is being simulated. LibreWolf gets KeyPass XC support. If LibreWolf gets XP, LibreWolf should have KeyPass XC support. I know Malvad browser you cannot install extra extensions. I don't know if LibreWolf you can or not. Can anybody confirm or deny LibreWolf can or cannot install extra stuff? I don't know. Let's see. All right, let's jump on over into our news. We actually do not have privacy again this week. It's been kind of weird. We've not had privacy news a couple weeks in a row. All right. I got an itch to scratch. There you go. See? There we go. Had an itch to scratch there. Let me go ahead and take a little bit of water, hydrate up. And I need a little bit of coffee to caffeinate myself up. Good stuff. Folgers. Best way of doing a live stream is Folgers in your cup. All right, let's go. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. Whoa, I'm going to restart that because I clicked my mic and that went really loud for a second. Look at that. Boom! That was too loud. My apologies. We're going to restart that. Let me actually delete that mess up file there now because I don't want to forget about it later. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, in 2 weeks from this date, we will not have a Weekly News Roundup. We should be back on the 3rd week, and of course, next week we will have one as well. Just be aware of that. But you can catch the show live on over there. Of course, tonight we do not have privacy news again. It's kind of getting weird. I don't know how we're missing privacy news a couple times in a row here, but we do have some security, some data leaks, a lot of fascinating AI, business, and of course we have to go to your favorite place and mine, SillyVille. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the news. And the first one here, you might have already heard about this one. I had a few thoughts about it. So United States bans Kaspersky software. Of course, this is probably because evil Russian bad. The problem with this is that, first let's cover the details here. So starting in July 20th, you can no longer purchase Kaspersky. Now, this is not like the federal government, government systems. This is United States citizens cannot purchase Kaspersky after July 20th and after September 29th. September 29th, I can't speak right today apparently. After September 29th, they will no longer allow you to update your software. So if you've already purchased Kaspersky because you're using it for your antivirus or security protection, you can only get updates until then. So now, on top of every other miserable failure that this crazy government has done, they're now telling you you can no longer update your software to keep your computer secure because bad Putin bad. This is absolute 100% and utter nonsense. And the reason is Kaspersky, yes, it is a Russian company, but nobody's been able to provide any form of physical, tangible proof that it is some weird backdoor for Moscow. In fact, quite to the contrary, as Kaspersky has said, they have actually done, these guys are some of the premier world security researchers. Some of the best bug fixes we find comes from Kaspersky. And if United States does not pull the old demented man's face out of his rectum and reverse this nonsense, okay, this is a possibility that they might turn to be evil Putin bad. Because these guys discover a large portion of the security bugs in our world. And if they're like, you know what, you're going to do that, we're just going to go ahead and keep these security things to ourselves and maybe just sell them to Russian hackers instead, they might actually make more money. And so we risk here alienating a very powerful and very competent group of security researchers who so far have alerted United States and the world about serious bugs that needed to be fixed. This is the most absolutely nonsense take I have ever seen our government do. And mind you, I know that they've installed males who think they are females and cross-dressing kleptomaniacs with nuclear codes. Okay? I'm aware of that. This is worse. Okay? I'm telling you. All right. So the move follows allegations that the cybersecurity firm as a hacking conduit for Russian intelligence, allegations the company has consistently denied. And the fact is they have alerted the government like United States government, to security holes. They release a software that is very good and very competent and probably better than most of the other ones out there on the market. And so this is an utterly nonsense move, but why am I surprised? All right. We risk losing one of the best guys. Now, if these guys have the true integrity they probably have, they will probably still continue pushing stuff out and fight through this the best way they can. And I don't know. The fact of the matter is this is nonsense. And them saying to you, the end user consumer who said, this is the security software I want, for the government to come in and tell you you can no longer use that is utter nonsense. Because now what do you have to do? Well, I mean, granted, if you're on Windows, I think Windows Defender is competent enough. I think you should probably use that. But suppose you don't find Windows Defender competent enough for what you're doing. Now you're going to have to fork out extra money because somebody in administration is mad at Russia because another country happens to be their cash cow. Okay, that's really my take on this. And this is utter nonsense. And if you really want to say that they are truly spies for Russia, let's see the actual evidence and maybe I'll agree with you. But until now, I've seen them do nothing except excellent work in security. So I guess that makes me a Putin shill now. I don't know. The Lockbit hacker group claimed this earlier this week that they hacked the Federal Reserve and they had a lot of information. They were alleging they had millions of Americans' banking accounts that are hacked from the Federal Reserve. It would appear as though that is not actually the case. What these guys ended up getting into is Evolve Bank and Trust. And this is a small bank. I think it was like Midwest. And the problem with this particular bank is it was inherently insecure in and of itself. So in other words, it didn't take Lockbit sheer amount of competent work to get in there. They were already under several violations from the Federal Reserve for not doing the basic of basic securities. And so the Lockbit ransomware group got the data. They end up leaking some data, which they said was from the Federal Reserve, but it actually came from Evolve Bank instead. So, whatever that happens to be worth. And next we'll go ahead and have a look at a couple of direct data leaks just to see how those are going. This one here, we're going to highlight the just the hospital portion. Now, this is actually just a whole lot of security news stuff rolling out. They're talking a little bit about the Snowflake leak, which of course is what leaked the Ticketmaster, which we'll talk about here in a bit. And it leaked out information on Santander Bank, among other banks. Basically, this is supposed to be a super high-end, high-level cloud security system, which got hacked, and due to misconfiguration settings inside the servers, what ended up happening when they got hacked is literally any and every bit of data kind of got itself leaked all over the place. And so what they end up doing is getting in and stealing a lot of things. Now, tied into this was actually several hospital hacks. So Ascension Healthcare had 140 different hospitals. And this is, to me, is a problem with these big corporate hospitals. Like UPMC comes into this area and just starts taking over all these hospitals. Well, if you hack UPMC, you have effectively gotten into every hospital's system. Whereas if every hospital is still small, locally run hospital, they are still providing decent care in all reality. But now the hackers have all those different infrastructures to get into. We need to completely get rid of these massive corporate hospitaling. I don't know. Maybe I'm turning into a Marxist or something, but I think the whole idea of corporations getting too big might be a thing. Oh boy. Don't stay. I'm not changing that much. I'm just saying it's really bad when a hospital becomes a for-profit entity that looks at profit over healthcare, because that's their one job. You had one job: keep the people alive. No, bro, we want your money. Would you like to die, or would you like to give us your money? That sounds to me like extortion. I don't know about you. But because these hospitals are taking over by central systems, and these central systems are generally interconnecting themselves, you hack into one of them and you get all of the hospitals in their network. So Ascension Healthcare has hacked 140 hospitals, comes with it. This one here was 300 million UK patient records leaking out online because of all of these hospitals being leaked. And this is why we need to move into a world where we need to have solid, robust global laws that no person may have anybody else's digital information without some form of express written consent, and you can only have the data required to provide the service that they have asked you to provide. Because companies can't keep this stuff secure, and the data becomes a foundation by which you get in and steal information and steal people's identities and basically wreak havoc on the world. And these companies are not willing to secure it, so we should simply remove their ability from doing any of this kind of stuff as it is. So that's my take on that. Of course, Ticketmaster, there was a huge breach with Ticketmaster, which caused a big controversy. This is the first one that we know came out of that Snowflake hack. And with this, the price of the Ticketmaster files was going on sale for quite a while. It's been, about a little over a month or now. And so what they ended up doing is they leaked out 1 million Ticketmaster related data records for free. Now, they also have advanced auto part customer and employee data. They have Truist Bank data as well. So it's possible we might start seeing this type of stuff leaking out online as well. So if you happen to buy some Ticketmaster tickets, hey, you might be gambling with the chance to be involved in that 1 million records that are leaked out on the internet for free. And this is why we need to, have these comprehensive rules. Okay, even with suppose a company like this, let's say I bought a ticket from Ticketmaster 5 years ago. All right, after that sale, maybe after, say, 30 days after the sale, No data of mine should be on any internet accessible device. Now, in the United States, we have business laws that require the companies to keep business transactional data for 7 years, but it doesn't have to be connected to the internet, folks. We have to have a way to say, okay, these records, they're moved into cold storage. We're removing them off of the internet. That way, if there is a hack involved and somebody does get into our system, they only get the active customers that have been active customers within the last 30 days. That is the best way to doing it. So that is kind of my take on there. If you want to help support the channel, we do have some merch. We do have a Spreadshop store. You can pick up some Switch to Linux hats or t-shirts. Of course, this hat is over there, and I have this handy dandy coffee cup over there, and even this handy dandy mouse pad over there as well on the store at shop.switchedtolinux.com. You can have a look over there, pick up hoodies. You can even pick up this baby onesie that you can wrap your baby in a tinfoil hat with an alien and freak out your mother-in-law. Sounds like a great thing to do. And you can come up here, and there's different accessories, different sports bottles and things like that. We even have computer bags, shopping bags, all sorts of things like that. So have a look over there at what we have on shop.switchedtolinux.com. And with that, let's have a little look at some AI news next. For all of you parents out there with your kids in school, Google is now bringing Gemini to your teenagers through their school accounts. Isn't this so awesome? Now, the good news is this is at the discretion of the school, so it's not like every teenager will now have access to Gemini. But hey, if you have one of those crazy schools, it's like, technology's cool, and they turn on everything by default like people like to do with Google type stuff, then yeah, your teenagers will probably have it. So the administrator of the account, which is the school IT department, is going to have the ability to turn this on or off for different people. And again, it's related to teenagers, and they're saying, we need to turn on this to give teenagers access to AI so they can learn how to learn in a world with AI. Here's the best way to learn. Okay, take this from me. Okay, former college professor here. During the era when online homework started to make a movement online homework was the worst thing that ever happened to college. Absolutely horrendous, because it's only focused on the answer, not focused on the process. If you think a student's going to be like, I'm going to sit down and learn the stuff, so I'm going to use my AI to help me learn the material, you are so full of something, I don't even know what it is. Because your average student is interested in the answer. You give him an AI system, he's going to figure out the best way to get that AI to spit out the answer. Trust me. In addition to doing that, I also did internet-based tutoring at some point in time. And there are people like, I just can't figure it out. They don't want to learn. They want the answer. And that's the problem. We have to get back to a world where people want to come in and say, look, I need to figure out the process. But this takes personal responsibility, something most students don't have. Occasionally, you'll find a student that's like that. I was that geek. I was one of those guys, instead of going out to the party, I'd sit there and figure out all the different things. I used to close down my room on Saturday, close everything down, turn on one little light inside my room and work on PChem problems for fun. I know I was demented, guys. Come on. But that being said, what's going on here is they want to turn on AI for your teenagers, but it is at the discretion of the school administrators, so be aware of that. But it's frightening, folks. I did include it. Firefox now lets you choose your preferred AI chatbot. I did look into this. Yes, no chatbot is an option. But they are integrating some AI into this, and you can choose anything that offers their, the specific, they have a specific set of criteria that an AI has to have. So ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Hugging Chat, what is that one? And La Chat Mistral. So the company plans to continue adding them as long as, of course, it meets the user requirements. Now, I think that this is completely wrong of them. This should not be something integrated in the system. They should be like, okay, have a plugin, extend the thing with an extra plugin so this code isn't even in the system. Remind you, Mozilla's chief goals are like privacy. So why are you trying to cram AI, which are the biggest privacy debate in our world right now? Literally, the biggest privacy debate in our world right now is concerns around the data being collected by all of these chatbots. Don't tell me you're all about privacy and cram ChatGPT and Google's AI into your browser. I'm sorry, you're failing your mission, and this is why Mozilla's user base keeps on tanking, which is sad because we need to keep it alive. Please, somebody put that thing on life support because we need to have an alternative to the Chromium engine base. Mozilla is a good base. The problem is they keep cramming it full of nonsense, creating this massively bloated browser, and now they're going to start shipping out this browser enabled with AI nonsense that I am not going to use under any way, shape, or form. Give me a light browser that has all of this crap stripped out. Okay, give me a desktop browser based on the Firefox code that does nothing but search the internet. Okay, that's it. That's it. I don't need a translation service. I don't need picture-in-picture. I don't need AI. I don't need all of this nonsense. I don't need your pocket crap. I don't need any of this nonsense. Give me a light browser that can do nothing but search the internet. And on to our last AI story. This one is terrifying on so many different levels. Scientists want to implant prisoners with memories of their crimes that show the victim's perspective. So you commit a crime, you're caught committing a crime, and they take you to a chamber that looks like this, and they embed you in this chamber for a few hours and tie you in with all of the AI stuff, and then the AI effectively makes you the victim of your crime. So now you get to feel the experience of what it's like to be victimized. Oh, my Lord. Okay. First, let's get into some of the more frightening thoughts. Number one, they want to use this to say this will decrease the rehabilitation time. So we need to keep people out of prison, right? So the idea is let's rehabilitate them. The problem is they're humans with an inherently sinful nature. You can't rehabilitate them. Okay? Number two, when somebody commits a crime, part of it is the punishment. You're supposed to go away for a while. We don't want you just going into an AI simulator so you can learn about what impact it had so that you can just get right back out into society, because I got news for you. You're going to do it again. And here's why. Number three, we've had a massive increase in psychopaths and sociopaths in our world lately. Cultural trends have caused these to happen. The number of these people are rising, and a person who has psychopathy does not feel the consequence of their action. They do not care if they make them feel like the victim. They will come out and do it again because they don't care. You see, the entire basis of this is man is basically good. We just need to show them what they're doing is wrong. They know why it's wrong. They are just inherently evil, actually, and all of us are. Just a thought. You might disagree with that, but, you know, there you have it. So there you have it. Of course, I had very Demolition Man vibes with this, right? They were programming them through their hypersleep to come out and, you know, learn knitting or something, you know. Whatever else. So what they're basically trying to keep people out of the jails by implanting memories of their victims, and this is terrifying stuff, guys. Lord help us. Lord help us. All right. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do use affiliates. Today we were highlighting DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is who we use to do things like our restreaming server, Nextcloud instances, hosting websites, all sorts of fun things. You can spin up Nextcloud servers. You can spin up Minecraft servers. You can do all sorts of fun stuff. I actually just spun one of these up because we're working on a complicated Joomla project here. If there's any Joomla developers out there listening, please reach out to me. I have work for you. So I just spun up a lamp stack on DigitalOcean. We'll pay a couple bucks for it a month until we finish our project, so we can do anything to that server that we want. And if we kill it, don't matter. Okay, just save our work, right? But DigitalOcean is an excellent option there. tlm.li/DOH. This is going to give you $20 in credit, good for 60 days. And when you start spending money, I'm going to get $25 credit in my account. That's how they pay me back. So I don't need the actual money because I have such a big bill from DigitalOcean anyway. every bit helps. So tlm.li/DOH if you need such things. With that, we're going to have a look over at our business news next. All right, but we are going to go ahead and stop now. Take a little bit of a comment break. See what's going on. We got 59 people watching over there on Zatubies. And let's see. A desktop system like GNOME that cannot run old applications is a waste of time. They are omitting Linux history by not running all their apps. That's not limited just to GNOME, though. Linux does have a backwards compatibility problem. Additional extensions may be installed in LibreWell. So yeah, just go ahead and install your KeyPass XE and you should be able to support it. Let's see, there is a step missing. You know what? You might be right though. We're going to KeyPass XE. They might be looking specifically for Firefox. I'd have to look into that. I'll have to see if I can get LibreWell from KeyPass XE working. The only reason I do reinstall Manjaro on my main system. Once it goes a MOBA failure, trying to OC, otherwise it'd be 1.5 years. Hang on. I've been running Manjaro on my Raspberry Pi for 4. I'm just not running it right now because I upgraded to the Raspberry Pi 5, and that allows me to run Cinnamon on MX Linux, and I'm very happy about that. Dude, that thing doesn't even feel like a Raspberry Pi. It is so fast, it does not feel like a Raspberry Pi. All right. Check out Dine Bullock GNU Linux. It's a Rasta Linux distro. All right. Newsom in the middle of his second recall in California, and Michael Obama has said no thanks. Yeah. I mean, if you'd run Linux, you don't need Linux antivirus. Yep. I was hoping Newsom would leave California and let us have a decent government. Good luck with that. You'll pull in somebody worse. But please, you can keep him. Please keep him. At least the green light didn't give you gobloots. There you go. Windows Defender with malware bytes freeware is my way to go. Not used Ticketmaster in over a decade, and yet your data probably still leaked. If you were a true follower of the Hippocratic Oath, you wouldn't take money. I disagree with that specifically, but you don't want to be exploitative with it. So Kaspersky Labs made a Linux version of their antivirus software not too long back, but soon after they got banned. Yep. I believe, though, the software, you can still download it. Yeah, that's just limiting the sale of the software, not the free downloading. See why specialists need to be paid more, but not at the cost I spend. Yep. Okay, I wonder if Google will give schools a discount if they turn Gemini button on. Probably. But hey, they did say they're not going to be using that data to push ads. Well, thank you. It's going to use it for everything else. How can Defender be called competition in any way, shape, or form when it totally ignores Keygen and Microsoft Windows? Okay, well, hey, last time I've run Defender was, way back on like Windows 7 or something, so. Back, my issue is not worth it. I agree with this abortion not being there, as well as his physician-assisted murder, which is mandatory under Obamacare. Oh, boy. Makes me want to switch to the Lynx browser. There you go. When Mozilla is mainly being propped up by Google, so it doesn't get slapped with a lawsuit. Yeah. Mozilla is unfortunately a front for Google. Yeah. I like to translate. That's good. I'm glad there's an extension for that. You don't need to cram it into the browser. Okay. We need to go back to old school operating systems. We can. Linux. Clockwork Orange comes to life. It's the movie with the 3 shells. That's Demolition Man. It's the movie with the 3 seashells. AI cannot help them. They need Lord Jesus to give them the Holy Spirit. Amen to that. Amen to that. Even demote them when Soylent Green status. Like a Star Trek episode. Can you see Hannibal Lecter with this? Ooh, which one? I'm actually in the middle of watching the Hannibal Lecter series. I got one more to go. I have Hannibal left to go. I watched the other ones. What do you guys think? You have seen them both. What is better, Manhunter or Red Dragon? Same source material. You'd think it's a new restaurant review. Don says he found out my computer issue. My browser is segment faulting. There you go. Will AI invade all Linux distros? Most likely no. I missed my Love Lucy reference. Oh, did I miss it? I'm sorry. What do you think of the Noahide laws in America to come? I have not heard of that. Interesting. We'll have to look into that. All right. We got over on Odyssey. We got 19 currently watching on Odyssey. We're over on Odyssey this. I'm not sure I want to click that picture, although it is going to like a start page or something. I don't know. I've actually complete series of Red Dwarf here on storage. There you go. Banned because Kaspersky is the best at finding U.S. alpha and agency backdoors. There you go. That's probably the case right there. Hey, you know there's a backdoor? Crap! Shut up! You're paying taxes, you're funding the three-letter agencies. Yeah, that's the problem. Unfortunately, it's kind of, you have to. .404, Surgeon General talks about the roofing of financialization of medicine. Yeah. Okay. Just sorting through. Let's see. Amen. Tom Reed's psychopathy. Yep, that's right. This seems so reductive. Yeah. Best time in the law was crossing the equator as a shellback. Payback time. There we go. Most criminals would just be encouraged to continue tormenting their victims. They have no empathy. Yeah. I've not been able to get KeyPass XC to work with LibreWolf. I'm going to look into that if I can. Manhunter, way better than Red Dragon. That's where my vote is, honestly. Although, I think Red Dragon clarifies a few things in the story. Like when he was talking to the reporter of the Tattler. I've many times as I've seen Manhunter, I did not understand that they were setting it up to say, this is where, oh, what's the guy's name? What's the guy's name? I just watched it the other day. Norton's character in Red Dragon version, where that detective, I did not pick up for Manhunter and I've watched it about 100 times. It's a really good film. Mostly, actually, I like it for the 80s music, honestly. But I never picked up that when they're filming that scene, they're taking the picture with him, that they're setting up to say, this is where I'm living right now, to try and sting him out. I have never picked up in Manhunter that that's what they're doing in that room. But in Red Dragon, it was very clear that that's what they were doing in that room. And it's the same room in both movies. like half the dialogue is exactly the same. But I do like Manhunter better than Red Dragon. Although I have to say that I do like Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of Hannibal Lecter better than the guy in Manhunter. I thought that he came off as a more diabolical guy than the fast talking guy they had in Manhunter, and I forget who he is. I did actually kind of like the acting better in Red Dragon, I thought as well. But there's just something about Manhunter. I still like Manhunter better. I don't know why. But that's my thought. Let me know your thoughts. I've given you my movie review, I guess. So. All right. Let's see. We got 28 over on Rumble. True. I want to find another browser I can trust. Let's see. Do most AV suites, but Kaspersky stuff like Restrict Act is rearing its head. Yeah. Did you all about Russia? Russian software folks are usually pretty good. Yep. Snowflake, the data warehousing software, makes sense to me. Best place to hack full of data, yeah. Loving Endeavor OS. Yeah, Endeavor OS is pretty solid. Windows 95 was nearly 10 years later. Worst rehash of Gem. Okay. Have a look over here. All right, let's see. Basics still alive. All right. I think we've gotten the bottom of the comments. Let's wrap this baby up. Maybe we can finish by 9:30 again. That'd be awesome. Excuse me. Sorry, I should have muted that. My deepest sympathies to anybody wearing headphones. Alrighty. Let's get started. Oop. Unspecified recording error. All right, OBS. First up in business news, we're having a look a little bit of lithium battery stuff. This is one of the dangers of lithium batteries. 22 workers are killed after a single malfunctioning lithium battery sets off a disastrous chain reaction. So a lithium battery fire in a South Korean factory owned by Aerosol took place. I'm not going to pronounce those two cities. On Monday, according to the New York Times, 22 people were killed. 1 worker was missing, while 8 were injured. So the fire department said 102 workers were in the factory when the fire broke out. 1 battery cell caught on fire, leading to a series of explosions that rippled through the 35,000 battery cells stored on the factory's second floor. So the big problem here is that there is a lot of potential energy in these batteries. Now they can be safe in some instances. You got to be a little bit careful with them. They're not as bad as some people say, depending on which technology you're using. And you do have to make sure that if you're using lithium batteries, you're doing appropriate amounts of fuses and things like that. Of course, my whole show, I'm running 100% right now. We are running this whole show on lithium batteries as we speak. It's on fire! No, kidding. But I have a lot of lithium in here. I have 200 amp hours in my main battery. I have another, I think 15 amp hour backup battery I have, not to mention the numerous various devices we have around here. But as long as you set everything up right, they're nice and safe. You just got to set things up right. You can't take shortcuts. You have to know about wiring and things like that. So those are definitely the things that you want to do. In fact, I was down at Bob Wells' Rubber Tramp Rendezvous in Arizona this last season. And I was chatting with a couple guys that are brand new on the road, and one of them was asking about batteries and things and what I do. And there was a guy back there who's like, he is like one of those old guys who thinks he knows everything. You know that guy? He's like, you never want to run lithium. They're just too dangerous. And he's trying to give all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there going, because he's like, you got to get up early in the morning. You got to run your generator and then your solar power go on. And he's doing all this kind of really annoying stuff. And I looked back and I said, or you can just get lithium batteries and good solar panels and you don't have to mess with any of that stuff, because I don't have to run generators most of the time. Almost never. I rarely have to plug into the grid because lithium batteries, they're a lot lighter, they're a lot smaller, and you can discharge them down to 80% discharge instead of 40% discharge like your lead acids. And so I was telling these guys that, but that guy, I was clearly didn't know what I was talking about because I'm a young guy, and he was old. So therefore he's infinitely smarter about all things. And so, I was like, nod your head and smile. I'll go talk to these guys over here instead. But, you just got to be careful with your lithium batteries. But if you're not careful with your lithium batteries, this will happen. So mine are fused on both sides, 150 amp fuses. So if those guys break, boom, cuts all power to everything in here instantly. That's the kind of stuff you need to do. And then, you got to have some form of contingency plans, things like that. But for the most part, you just got to be careful with this, because this is what can happen. And this is why mechanics will not work on cars like electric cars. You cannot get a mechanic to work on them if there's any even remotely close to looking like a dent anywhere near the batteries. There's too much risk of it blowing up and destroying everything in their shop and all their other customers' cars and all sorts of nonsense. So there's a lot of issues with electrical cars and all of this push we have on this lithium-based society, which, not to mention the serious environmental impact of these electric vehicles. And of course, it's no wonder that, according to a New York Times post, nearly half of Americans decide to go back to gas-powered vehicles after their rendezvous with electric, because they're like, okay, these things suck. Now, the biggest complaint, United States was one of the worst at 49%. I think the lowest was only like, let's see, one in three, 32%. So driving panel. Let's see. There was a chart of, it was a different article. But in other countries are a little bit more amenable to these. The biggest problem in America that was talked about was the lack of the charging infrastructure. And that really is a big deal. I think electric vehicles are good in a city setting or a setting where you don't have to drive a whole lot. But most of America is not like that. You know, like even where I'm at here, even if I was not a van dweller, if I was just living at this house I park at in the summer, just getting into town is a 25-minute drive. Okay. You get your errands done around town. It's not uncommon. One trip to town to do your errands is a 50, 60, 70-mile trip. So you get out there, you do all your stuff, and then you're coming back, and now you got to charge up. Well, the problem is an EV takes about the same amount of electricity as running a house for the same time period. The average American house and the average EV consumes the same amount of power per unit time. And so you're basically saying to everybody needs to now have two houses if you only have one EV on your house. We do not have an infrastructure. Supposing there were charging stations for all these EVs, we still don't have a power grid that could possibly power that. Our power grid cannot survive summer with air conditioners turning on. We cannot charge all of these electric vehicles. This is nonsense. Now, even if you solved all that, there were other issues like the distance between drives. Again, United States is a huge country, and there is a lot of destinations, and there are certain cities and areas you can't drive directly in between because of a lack of charging stations. So you might have to make detours through different cities. Not to also mention, you stop to charge up. You leave your house, your car is completely full. You have to stop for 45 minutes just to get like, I think it's only like 70% of your battery capacity back. And then you need to wait for an extra hour and a half to get that full back. So you can stop, you got to wait for 45 minutes before driving only another 70 miles. So you're driving an hour, waiting an hour, driving an hour, waiting an hour, driving an hour, waiting an hour. This is completely untenable. Totally untenable. And that's why most people are switching back. Now, my biggest gripe against EVs isn't with the EV technology specifically. It has to do with the fact that almost all modern cars are cramming all sorts of spyware technology in them, but the EVs tend to be worse at it. If we could get an EV that didn't have all this spying technology, I'd consider that if I didn't have too far to drive on a regular basis. You know, I'd consider it. I wouldn't be like, hey, let's jump in. I think hybrid's probably the best way to go, because you get what is it, like 20, 30 miles on your electric battery, and then your engine kicks in. Your engine can charge up your battery, or you can charge up your battery on the grid. So that is the best way to go, is to push the hybrids, because you're getting a little bit of the best of both worlds there. And it's more designed to run off the generator instead of pure everything else, which is going to run a little bit better. But you have to remember, an EV itself, it's not just intrinsically clean power. It completely depends on the power grid feeding it. And around most of the country, that's not perfectly clean energy. Now, like at Norway, where Salbu's from, all of their energy is hydroelectric power. So they literally are doing clean energy as far as using the car once it's here. Now, that doesn't consider the strip mining for the rare earth metals and the intense manufacturing process. And the next thing people mentioned was the much higher cost. Now, these are sold as they're super low maintenance. No, they're super low maintenance until you need to replace the batteries in a couple years, and that's going to cost more money than I'm willing to pay for a used car. I don't want an EV on that basis alone. And so there's too many problems with EVs. So most people they've jumped on the EV train, they played with EVs, and they realize they are way too limited, and they're going back to gas engines next. So there you have it, folks. And on to our final story here. The FCC is now proposing a rule that would make carriers unlock all phones after 60 days. Now, the puzzling thing to me, this article here is just a write-up. I went back and read the entire rule summary, which is only one page. Curiously, there's nothing in there about that phone having to be paid off. The rule simply states 60 days after activation, the phone must be carrier unlocked, regardless if you actually still owe money on the phone or not. And I think that they might be pulling that restriction just because it makes it easier to determine, oh, you've had it for 60 days activated. We don't have to figure out money owed and things like that. Now, that does carry with it another baffling issue. You go onto the network, you get the phone, but in reality, you're still under contract for the phone. Even if you cancel your phone line, you still have to pay for the phone. You know, there's nothing that says they can't, if you deactivate the phone, there's nothing that says that they can't go in there and charge you the full amount of the phone for deactivating the line. I could see that. I find it a little odd, though, that the person does not have to pay off the phone. Now, I think we'd be a much better society if we all bought our phones instead of leased or rented our phones, or, putting down payments per month on a cell phone. I think if you can't buy the thing outright, you probably don't need it. But go to Walmart, buy a $30 phone. That phone sucks. Go to Walmart, buy a $30 phone, pocket the money you've been saving for the phone for 10 months and go buy a real phone. Or visit a pawn shop because, Pixel 5a, still supported by graphene, $150. So, but this is an interesting rule. I do support the fact that if people buy a phone from anywhere, they should be able to take it anywhere. It definitely solves the used phone market where you have to be careful about if you buy a phone, where is it purchased from? Is it carrier unlocked or not? Although I'd like to just go a little bit further and say, hey, you also have to force the people to unlock the bootloader, but whatever. Let's solve the first problem first, I guess. But that is our business news. And now we're going to have a look over at your favorite place and mine. Let's see what is going on inside the wonderful world of SillyVille. Everyone loves their flight simulators and their American truck simulator games. Well, did you ever think about playing the lawnmower simulator game? That's right, folks. For the amazing action of pretending to mow your lawn on a Saturday afternoon. Can you imagine the meta of this? You're in there playing your lawnmower simulated, and there's your wife yelling at you, go out and mow the lawn. I am mowing the lawn, honey. So, yeah. Now, curiously, this is not anything new. There have been lawn mowing simulators going back years, apparently. But for those people that really like these simulator games, here you go. I don't know if there's audio on this. There's some audio. Let's go ahead and mute that just in case there's something copyrighted on there. There you have it, guys. You're over there playing your lawnmower game. Of course, it did say it was more like a simulator, so this doesn't look as much of a simulator as much as, although maybe this is just the overarching view. But there you have it. Of course, as you're going through, you have different places you can go to. So this one's... here's the Landmark Edition, your Dino Safari. There you go. You're mowing lawns right next to the T-Rex. There you go. You're going through one ancient Indian burial ground. Please run over those guys from Stop Oil now. That'd be great. And then you got your, what's this one? Quick session mode. There you go. There's close to the simulation. I don't know if this is really a simulation. Looking at this, though, I don't know. They got a little statue there. Or is it an ankylosaur trying to attack the guy? I don't know. There you have it, guys. You got your lawn mowing simulator. They did bring in 5 different lessons of this. Repetition, the psychology of it. See, this is what I would consider a simulator. We have our history. Apparently, those lawn mowing games are not new. Here's the lawn mowing racing. Okay. And then here's the lesson real life. Oh, is this guy actually doing VR while he's mowing his lawn? 2024 is a weird time, folks. It's a weird time indeed. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. Well, Google may be making AI versions of celebrities for you to chat up in YouTube. It says celebrities, but the articles seem to have a lot more to do with like YouTube influencers. So, you know, some weirdo like me, you could you could create an AI version of me, I guess, and have a conversation with it. You know, get some promptings about how to switch to Linux. Okay, let me make it easier for you guys doing the AI. Linux Mint, unless it's something that doesn't run it, then try MX Linux. Avoid snap packages. Go with repo software first. What other things do we beat the head on a regular basis? I don't know. There you go. Be private with your stuff. Take back control. Try out some different software. But anyway, so now we just got to figure out a way to monetize this. So now you can go to your favorite channel and just like talking to your dead grandma, now you can talk to the YouTube influencer and pay him a little bit of money to chat with the AI based on him, I guess. So that's kind of what the goal is here to do. Let me know, would you be amenable to that if they offer me the option to create an AI out of myself that you can interact with me and you'll pay me for it? Let me know. I might turn that on. I don't know. Got bills to pay around here, man. Why not? But it's all fake news. You are fake news. So this is an interesting new news channel here. Of course, we've seen the AI generated news stuff in the past. This one here, though, is apparently entirely artificial, including scenes for things that no cameras were there. So if you can feed in, maybe you feed in the police report describing the things that are happening, now the AI can even make these sets and make the actual live action of the things that nobody was there to witness on camera. Of course, the stories themselves could be written with AI and the newscasters are AI. So effectively, it's just AI. It's AI telling you stories from made-up people, telling you made-up stories based on made-up events. What could possibly go wrong? It's like, is this like gray noise for the internet? Is this just the end of society as we see it coming online? I don't know. But the AI network to launch on streaming by spring. Creators Mozum and the film producer Scott Zablensky said they aim to launch Channel 1 AI for free with ad-supported streaming on apps. Great. So you can watch ads. Are the ads AI generated as well? That'd be awesome. So ad-supporting streaming on apps this spring. So you can watch ads to watch a fake person read a fake story with fake simulations about things based on, you know, what people said will happen. This is where they say the program will recreate the real events. The initial demo relied on the stock footage and photos. However, the creators said they intend to recreate events not captured by camera using generative AI. Oh boy, that's exciting. Closest analogy I could give you is when you talk about a trial that was covered and there were no cameras allowed, you'll see the courtroom sketch. They said that what we're looking to do is potentially add visuals where we could clearly denote this is generated imagery. We're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Sure you're not. Did anyone just think of Running Man when we said that? Remember, the whole thing on Running Man is they're doctoring the photos to release fake photographs about what this evil guy did just to lock him up. That was they locked him up on the pretense that he chose not to fire on the citizens. They wanted them to fire on the citizens because the citizens were the protesters protesting their nonsense. They knocked him out. The other people in the helicopter fired on the citizens, and then they spun it as if he was the one that fired on the citizens to throw him under the bus and throw him in jail to stop the protesting citizens from protesting even more. That was what they did, the basis of the crime in Running Man. Same exact thing. They are going to literally be able to exactly that, pull the wool over people's eyes. How long before that happens? It'll be about 0.5 seconds once this thing is released to the public. So definitely crazy, but definitely terrifying as well. So there is our weekly news roundup. If you want to help support the show, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump on over there, help support the channel. And with that, folks, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Alrighty, let's check in on our final amount of comments. It's 9:24. We should have time to catch up on comments and feed the beasts. Let's go back to DOS and play games using it with DOSBox. I would not use it as my day-to-day. Recently been thinking about going to play some gold box games. Let's see. Flip between Power Basic and Free Basic. Not much of a gamer. Show my issues. I have light, and all I ever play is light as Animal Crossing. EVs are the hazard. There's ships out in the Atlantic that have burned to the waterline from EV transporting. Yep. EVs are nice for car enthusiasts. Trying to drive to another state is a nightmare due to the lack of charging stations. Amen to that. Batteries depend a lot on the chemistry. It would be the safest, but the odd voltage is less energy dense. CES ad? At least it was something relevant. There you go. Let's see. I live in a town less than 2,500 people. We still have summer blackouts at random times. Almost no one here has a full-on EV. Yep. Like waiting for the public bus going to your destination, repeating that on the way back. So a person made a job with a car and a trailer with a generator on the trailer. He drives around charging EVs have stopped. That's a nice new business model right there. And good luck finding a public bus in my town. If you don't drive or know someone who does, then only as far as your legs can take you. Yep. Don't use a phone and refuse to. There you go, man. How to charge my phone as I didn't touch it for 2 weeks. My vehicle in shop 4 months, trying to get money to afford it, and loved it. No being able to get out. Yep. Should be 30 days to unlock. If I can't buy the phone outright, I don't need the phone. Yep. There you go. STEM games like this for years. Yep. Old 90s game of mowing the lawn. Given the house market, younger adults can only fantasize about having a lawn to mow. Makes sense for them to lawn mow sim games. There you go. That's closest I'm ever going to get, man, to mowing the lawn. Running Man was a great movie. Yes, it was. So glad they have not remade. Oh, they're trying to, I think. There'll be some super woke thing. Some Mary Sue's going to come in there and kill Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. I don't know. What's the AI in Linux? They're cramming AI into deep in Linux. If you jumped on late, that was our first block of news stories. We're just wrapping up now. All right, 57 on Zatubies. We got 24 over on Odyssey. Wasn't Manhunter made in the 80s, 90s? Yeah, it was 80s. You can tell by the music. It was all synthesizer music. Early 80s. Trying to rewrite history and the classics this day and age are the point. Yep. Yeah, I watched To Kill a Mockingbird the other day. That was a good film. You're not AI already? Tom is real. I'm real, believe it or not. Lying is bad enough from politicians and the media without them AI also lying. Yeah. Aren't most influencers on YouTube a bit of fake version of intelligence to begin with? Yeah, probably. Well, if you get a cow cart and you can mow the lawn while you move very slowly. Hello, Hulksploit. Greetings. How's it going there? AI is not really AI. Very true. And we got 24 over on Rumble. First Linux gaming live stream complete. There you go. How is charging regulation done? Is there a well-known regulation device for that? What do you mean charging regulation? Like car EV charging? But a lot of modern fail-safe nuclear plants to charge those EVs, but many EVs have 1 to 200 mile per charge and some even more. Yeah, don't try and drive across Wyoming with that. Literally, like Rawlins to Rock Springs, the two big cities, is 100 miles. Wamsutter's in the middle. There's a gas station in Wamsutter, but it's just oil fields at Wamsutter. From Rawlins, the other side, to Laramie is 100 miles. Elk Mountain's in the middle. There's one gas station that sometimes is open. Laramie to Cheyenne's only like 30 miles. Then Cheyenne, Pine Bluff's like 10 or 20. Rock Springs, Green River, that's 10 miles. Green River to the next city, which is Evanston. 100 miles. That's another. Yeah. In fact, it is. I think Green River is mile 80 and Evanston is at mile 1. And there is Little America 30 miles out of Green River. But there is nothing from that Little America to Evanston. Don't try to drive across Wyoming with an EV. Let's see. Car spying pisses me off. Yep. That's why, hey, buy a commercial van. There's like no spying technology in this van. It's totally awesome. Maybe in the future, the lawnmower game will need to be there since no lawns will be in the tribulation. There you go. And honestly, the firewall my neighbors set up against them is literally windows. Alrighty, let's go ahead and feed the beasts. Hey, kitties. Do kitties want to eat? You want some feed the beast stuff? What do you guys think? You want to feed the beast stuff? All right, kitty. Come on, kitty. Come on, buddy. Want some kitty treats? Kitty, want some kitty treats? Come on, kitties. Come on. Yeah. Don't do that, kitty. They don't want to see your butt. They don't want to see that part of you. Here, they want to see the cute part of you. They don't want to see the ugly part of you. They want to see the cute part of you. There you go. There you go. Oh, are you coming? Come on, kitty. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on. There you go. Oh. Oh, there it is. It's right here, dummy. Yeah. Those are good, huh? Those are good. Good kitty treats, huh? Yeah, they're good. All right. Alrighty. From my house, you have to drive well over 30 minutes for a public charging station. Left at a point of... Point of Rocks at 1:30. There is a... Is there a gas station there? There might be a gas station there. There's a post office at Point of Rocks. Yeah, that goes up to Superior. Yeah, there's really nothing there at Point of Rocks. Hey, you could stop at Buford. Is that real or fake? Definitely fake. The cats are a psyop. Very good AI and robotics in my kitties. Yep. Kitties are looking handsome tonight. Kitties love those temptations. Yes, they do. And the kitties all left, so I'll come back to me again. All right, guys, we are going to wrap up here for the night. Hey, no buffering tonight. There you go. Our internet has held out. I'm very happy about that. Well, guys, we will chat with you guys later on. Tomorrow, 11, Arch install script, how to use it, what it does, things like that. We're installing, you'll have to watch the video, see what we install on that. And then we'll be back next week with some things. And then the week after that, a little bit of a break. So stay attention to that. Gas station, trailer park, and restaurant. Yes, that's right. There is a gas station at Point of Rocks, yeah. Did forget Point of Rocks, yes, as everyone does. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Wait, hold on. Serious question. Someone I know what I can do to protect against geese. Run away. Just run away. I have no idea. All right. Have a good one, guys.